she eats children. She lives alone in a forest where sunlight never reaches. Her house stands on chicken legs and turns on its own to face you when you approach. Around her property, a fence made of human bones, with skulls on the posts that glow in the dark. She is old, crooked, with a nose so long it touches the ceiling when she sleeps. She flies in a mortar and sweeps away her own tracks with a broom. For centuries, Slavic mothers used her name to frighten their children. Behave yourself, or Baba Yaga will come for you. But here is the thing no one ever told you. In the oldest stories, she saved the hero. Her name is already a mystery. Baba. In Old Russian, this does not simply mean old woman. It means grandmother, midwife, the woman who was present at birth and at death, the guardian of the two most important thresholds in a human life. Yaga is more complicated. It may come from Jadwiga, an old Slavic word for witch, or fury of the forest. In Polish, it means nightmare. In some ancient dialects, it simply means disease. So her name translates literally as the grandmother nightmare. The first time she appears in writing is 1755, in a Russian grammar book by Mikhail Lomonosov, a list of Slavic gods and deities. And here is something curious. Every other god on that list has a Roman equivalent. Perun is compared to Jupiter. Veles is compared to Mercury. Baba Yaga? No equivalent. Alone on the list. As if the scholar himself did not know where to place her. But she was not born in 1755. The Lubki, woodblock prints carved from linden trees, popular in Russian peasant homes in the 1600s and 1700s, already showed her flying in her mortar, already described the house on chicken legs. She existed in stories long before any paper recorded her. The most famous tale is Vasilisa the Beautiful, a girl whose mother died, a cruel stepmother, and an impossible task. Go into the forest and bring back fire from the home of Baba Yaga, knowing that those who go rarely return. Vasilisa arrives at the forest at night. The skulls on the fence posts light her path. The house turns on its chicken legs to face her, and Baba Yaga appears, enormous, crooked, sniffing the air. I smell the flesh of a human. In a typical Western story, this is where the monster attacks. But Baba Yaga does something different. She gives Vasilisa tasks. Clean the house, sort the grain, cook the dinner. And if Vasilisa completes the tasks with diligence and honesty, Baba Yaga gives her the fire, lets her go, with a gift that ultimately frees Vasilisa from the people who were oppressing her. Baba Yaga was not the final obstacle. She was the test. Folklore scholars call this a threshold function, a figure who exists at the border between the world of the living and the world of the dead, who decides whether the hero has what it takes to continue. In the oldest Slavic stories, the person who passes Baba Yaga's test does not die. They grow. To understand what happened to Baba Yaga, you have to go back to the 7th century. That is when the first Christian missionaries arrived in Slavic territories, and with them, a new cosmology, good and evil, God and the devil, light and darkness. The problem is that Slavic mythology did not work that way. It had ambiguous figures, entities that could heal or destroy, depending on how you approached them. Mokosh, goddess of the earth and fertility. Morana, goddess of death and winter. Mati Sira Zemlia, literally moist Mother Earth. Scholars see the echoes of all of these figures in Baba Yaga, a goddess of transformation, of birth and death, and the passage between the two. When Christianity spread across Eastern Europe, these figures did not simply disappear. They were rewritten. The goddess who guided heroes became the witch who ate children. The guardian of the threshold became the enemy to defeat. Ancient feminine power was transformed into fear. It is a pattern repeated across all of Europe, from Hecate in Greece to Freya in Scandinavia. But in Baba Yaga, something of the original survived with unusual clarity, because the stories were passed down orally, grandmother to granddaughter. And in that transmission, something of the old truth remained. Something interesting has been happening in recent years. Baba Yaga is returning, and this time, not as a villain. The Witcher, both the games and the series, features figures directly inspired by her. Old wise women at the edge of the forest, holders of forbidden knowledge. Hellboy includes Baba Yaga as a central character across multiple story arcs. Dozens of contemporary fantasy novels have rediscovered her as a figure of power. And in Slavic online communities, especially in Russian, Polish, and Ukrainian diaspora spaces, there is a growing movement to reconnect with pre-Christian folklore, to reclaim figures like Baba Yaga, not as monsters, but as archetypes. The Jungian psychologist Clarissa Pinkola Estes wrote about her in Women Who Run with the Wolves, one of the best-selling psychology books of the past 3 decades. Her argument? Baba Yaga represents the wild woman, the primal feminine instinct that civilization tried to suppress. Maybe that is why she endures. She was suppressed for centuries, transformed into nightmare, used to frighten. And still, she is here, still in our stories, still recognizable. Perhaps because somewhere deep down, everyone understands that the real tests in life do not come from kind and smiling figures. They come from old women in dark forests who look you in the eyes and ask, "Did you come here of your own will, or were you sent?" Baba Yaga was never simply a monster. She was a mirror, and what she reflected always depended on who was standing at her door. If you want to go deeper into Slavic folklore, into figures that history tried to erase, and into the goddesses hidden behind the witches, this channel will keep digging. Subscribe, turn on notifications, because the next story is already being unearthed. And as always, where darkness meets curiosity.